Welcome Raymond De Souza to our channel, Great Saints, and thank you for joining us. And just a brief introduction. A lot of people would know Raymond De Souza from EWTN as a program host, I believe. I'm doing apologetics for many, many years on Mother Angelica's program. So very welcome to this channel, Raymond.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be with you.
And you're a member of HLI. You're a speaker for HLI as well, and very well-known speaker around the world. And currently you're promoting the book on the Synod. And the title of the book, the Synod Process, is a Pandora's Box. Could you tell us a little bit about this book?
Look, the Synod on Synodality in Rome is causing quite a bit of controversy. But I prefer to let cardinals of the church speak their minds instead of myself. Take, for example, Cardinal Raymond Burke. He wrote that, and I quote, "We are going through a great crisis, the most serious crisis in history. The coming Synod on Synodality reportedly aimed to question the very structure of the church. They propose to rethink the church," unquote. Then came Cardinal Gerhard Muller, who is the former prefect of the Congregation for the Doctrine of the Faith. And he said, quote, "They are dreaming of another church that has nothing to do with the Catholic Church. They aim at the destruction of the Catholic Church," unquote. Now, these are very, very heavy comments. He also added, speaking on the German synodal way, he said, quote, "It is controversial and has led to the approval of resolutions that have deprived the Catholic faithful of the truth of the gospel to replace it with a homosexualized ideology," unquote. The late Cardinal George Pell from Australia, he had something interesting to say, that, quote, he described the working document of the Synod as one of the most incoherent documents ever sent out from Rome. It is not a summary of Catholic faith or New Testament teaching. It is incomplete, hostile to significant ways to the apostolic tradition, and nowhere acknowledges the New Testament as the Word of God, normative for all teaching on faith and morals. The Old Testament is ignored, patriarchy rejected, and the Mosaic Law, including the Ten Commandments, is not even acknowledged," unquote. Now, these are the views of good cardinals, princes of the church, advisors of the Pope. Bishop Robert Barron of the Winona Diocese, my own diocese here in America, he had already expressed his concerns about the moral relativism in one of the documents approved by the Synod. And he wrote, quote, "The document basically insists on moral relativism and ridicules the perennial teaching of the Church's magisterium on sexual morality. We cannot adjudicate the matter by remaining at the level of feelings. We have to move to the level of real argument based on the Bible, the theological tradition, and the natural moral law." In short, what we can see is two aspects. First, the German Synod speaks favorably on homosexuality, women priests, communion to the divorced, and unfortunately, the Pope remains silent. Two, Cardinal Hollerich from Luxembourg, he rejects the Christian teaching on sexuality. Unfortunately, also, the Pope remains silent. The famous Cardinal George Pell from Australia, shortly before his death, he said this: "Previously, the motto was Roma locuta, causa finita est. That is, Rome has spoken, the issue is settled. But today, it is Roma loquitur, confusio augetur. Rome speaks, confusion reigns. Now, the one who is promoting the relator of the Synod, Cardinal Hollerich of Luxembourg, he called for a revision of the church teaching on homosexuality, supported the priest's ordination of married men, and declared himself open to female ordination, so to the priesthood. He openly questioned the magisterium of John Paul II on the ordination of women. He condemned the doctrine of the Catechism of the Catholic Church, which calls homosexual persons to chastity. And he said, quote, calling others to chastity seems like speaking Egyptian to them. He concluded that I find the part of the teaching calling homosexuality intrinsically disordered a bit dubious, unquote. So the Synod will discuss the role of minorities, such as remarried divorcees, single parents, people living in polygamous marriage, LGBTQ+, etc. Finally, Gavin Ashenden is a former Anglican. He was a bishop of the Church of England, and he was even the chaplain to Queen Elizabeth II. He converted to Catholicism. He denounced the Synod working document as a Trojan horse. And he said, Jesus goes, Marx stays. So, my friend, in conclusion, Pope can see that the Pope Paul VI prophetic warnings have come true. The church has entered the process of self-destruction, and the smoke of the Satan is inside the sanctuary. All Catholics of goodwill are called to pray fervently, to become aware of this problem, and to act in defense of our Holy Mother, the Church. This study on the Synod as a Pandora Box can be downloaded free of charge or to be purchased and printed from this site. I hope that this will give people an understanding of the gravity of the situation we find ourselves in, where the Holy Mother Church is being destroyed from inside, not from outside. You guys can download the book, and I hope that by reading it, you take very, very seriously the conclusions of it. God bless you all.
And we thank you very much for your input and your knowledge and wisdom on this topic. And obviously, time for a lot of prayer as well.